Hello and ach ja, it's DoD Gontel here, bringing you a little commentary for a game that I was assured is very good, very watchable and also pretty lengthy. So we are in for a treat, we are in for late game and Age of Mythology at its finest most likely. So who did play? We are going to see SJO, DoD SJO and DoD DarthNox. SJO playing as Freya, DarthNox playing as Kronos against new applicants, namely Léonce and his buddy Apoy. And Léonce is playing Shenong and Apoy is going to play Kronos as well. So what can we expect? I think this has quite the late game potential just from the setup alone. Kronos getting an implode later on in the game, maybe even more than one. Freya does like to go late gamey too. And Shenong, I think he is not opposed to it. Shenong being the god without Great Flood, so this is before any China balancing stuff might occur. We are still waiting for a few dreadful things to be taken out of the game, and now we are going to see if China is able to ruin this game or not. The map, what do we have? A few very mediocre relics. Pierce armor might be nice. This is very nice. This is very nice. This is very nice. So yeah, let's conclude a lot of nice relics. Maybe check the one in the middle first. Someone might get it. Okay, we got both monkeys and lions on the map. And what are we here? Okay, buildings constructed faster. Let's see. Both DarthNox and Apoy, Léonce, I'm sorry, are going forward with at least one oracle rather offensively. Apoy not really here scouting the base of DarthNox, not yet, at least. Both oracles now going in rather offensively. We can compare the vision to DarthNox vision. DarthNox playing a little bit more conservative, scouting to the sides. Old man with sticks in hand say hi to each other. The oracle handshake in the middle of the map. Just minding my own business, please let me alone. And off he goes. So Léonce going very close to SJO's base here, which is dangerous. With a villager and a berserk you can kill this with a lot of micro, but I mean he wants to rebuild the temple, he doesn't have a choice. Maybe make a second berserk, but this is like very, I don't know, min-maxing and probably not worth it. Let's see, what is Apoy doing? Apoy is not going for early farms. Some people say this is good, some people say it is bad. A rather standardized age up from Apoy. The temple is down and Shizu is taken, so not the walling god, the god for lightning weapons and for Yazi. And when we see this, Guafu with a rather high gathering rate both on wood and a lot of peasants on gold, we might guess that he wants to take a second TC. Second TC is also very close, behind TC also available. So the map has a nice setup for late game for many TCs. In comparison, his body Apoy also going up. And having picked Prometheus, here rising villagers, down goes the TC. So a rather boomy Kronos build with possibly many hero citizens. Let's check our DoD guys. We got SJO, who is now probably on 2 eco upgrades. Never mind, there's the second one coming. May have forgotten this a little. You can get this earlier in the most Freya builds you do. And in comes the Yazi raid. We are just in time. Pretty dreadful, to be honest. But ha 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 ha, Vela goes down on the villager and the man with the donkey takes another kill, shanking the dude to death. So we see what we can do here. Maybe make this a little bit bigger throughout this so you can see, just because the gray color is maybe a little bit too hard to spot if the game stays small. DarthNox going in on a second TC by himself. We can compare some eco numbers if we want to. DarthNox and being in the lead here with 2 villagers. Not 2 villagers, but having the highest eco count, let's put it that way. SJO currently not on a second TC, but as we speak he's going to put it up. Has invested into units beforehand. He has to build the second TC. There's basically no other choice. Let's see, does he go for the route of even more eco upgrades? Yes, he does. Remember, Freya is having cheaper eco upgrades with longer production time. Meanwhile, on the other side, DarthNox actually harassing here with the Prometheans. By no stretch a Kronos rush like it's famed for. Obviously, both of them going for a second TC. Very nice, possibly having shifted those manors around here or built them on top of the resources makes your villagers really safe. Could have kept one of those here, but maybe he plans to add more food later. So Apoy Léonce wants to be safe, having his own Prometheans here running around the map. Vision is very nice, although Léonce has pulled both of his oracles back, making it a little bit more conservative. Let's look at DarthNox. DarthNox still at its opponent's side of the map. So we see SJO now getting his town center done, so the eco gap is surely going to close very soon. And the game is not really in a bit of a stalemate, but maybe a gentleman's agreement, so to speak. We get a little time period where everyone is just macroing up. Apoy with his Shenong taking actually the third TC, the back TC in the meantime. And let's see how the other guys are going to respond. Very nice mythic spawn here, I think, from Shenong. Apoy also spreading his favorite land nicely. We have to put him on the big screen essentially to see what he's going to do. Or to see his favorite land, so to speak. Also this I really like this connection. I don't know if he knew this or if he just figured, but this is very nice. Little bit of a defensive wall here incoming, but also incoming is the time shift of the buildings in the back of the base. So DarthNox here maybe preparing for something like a Rhea rush in the back. He isn't actually currently going for Hyperion, but still you can make a lot of stuff happen when you go down here. Make Terma, make something else. He's stacking up on Catapultis and Chiroballista. Haven't really scouted the opponent's army though, because there is none. Maybe a guess. We got SJO running in here with Berserks. Freya Berserks are kinda nice. Let's see the upgrades. So you already got like Servants of Glory, making them quicker, a little bit of a budget falsetti, so to speak. And Apoy here with little units to respond to this, making some Dao Swordsmen. Big hack armor, big life, but Berserks should be fine against the Dao Swordsman. The Yazi though, they are going to help, and now we see this is kind of like trading evenly, with the Berserks most likely costing less resources when we compare, yeah, but only by a very, very little. Meanwhile, Apoy getting a heroic spawn here, if I'm not mistaken. Is this a heroic age creature? The Tao T, I think it is. Can shoot fire from his ass and eat enemy units. SJO in the meantime getting forward buildings up. He already is on farms, although the map control is kinda taken and he could still go on berries. Maybe he doesn't want to because he knows that the opponent has access to Yazi and he doesn't want to deal with them. First Cock Giant coming in here. Heroic Age is there for everyone except for Apoy, but mind you, Apoy has taken a 30C and is now also getting raided in the back, and the Satyr doing a lot of work, although the Quilong, down it goes, has done a little bit of healing. So DarthNox going in here, Myth units and Terma. We will see how Apoy is going to respond. Gets a Bayou out from the temple spawn. At the meantime, oh god, and there it goes, the heroic age got power. SJO, bye bye, we love you. Down he went into the abyss and far beyond. Fey Beast killing him off. Way too strong of a god power, everyone hates it, but what do you have? What can you do? So Léonce here helping out, having gone Hyperion himself. Not really dodging the hailstorm of SJO, but kinda does. SJO coming in further and further. Against this army, his Berserks are very, very good against the Momillos. Especially Kronos Momillos, and with Bite of the Shark being essentially ditched. Nice hero rise here, this Tao T is going down. But SJO really needs to be careful because of the Satyrs, and I really think he needs Godi for that. Currently doesn't have Great Halls, so there's no Godi incoming. He just decides to go somewhere else, gets help with a nice little deconstruct on the palace here, getting another palace down, so this is pretty hot. Good team play from the both of them. Meanwhile, Léonce is busy in the north cleaning up the remainder of DarthNox buildings. Let's see, maybe DarthNox is going to time shift this all back. Takes quite a bit of APM though, right? Click this back on your home base the whole time. SJO doing a nice job here, running in to the front, essentially catching Léonce with half of his army somewhere else, busy dealing buildings. We see the time shift of DarthNox saving a few of the buildings at least. SJO going for a comp of Haskell Berserks, which I guess makes sense because Satyrs do pierce damage and the Chinese like their Shogunu, so very good comp to have. SJO being able to take another middle TC here on the side of it after clearing the Atlantean palaces, but now slowly gets shanked down by the Satyrs behind the wall, still being able to do damage and push and push and push. Let's see his armor upgrades, doing great on the armor upgrades too. This is very nice. DarthNox coming in with Arcus now, supplementing the very melee heavy frontline of SJO with some ranged. Let's see our applicants, how they are doing now, and oh, this is interesting. So already starting a little bit of a trade here, or at least setting it up, while the Shenong farms are going down, so the food income is rather nice and high. We see Léonce with also a lot of heroic civilians, most likely, yeah, having the Theft of Fire, so the food income for Léonce also very nice. And now you see the armies clashing. The first water dragon, yeah, I don't know, farts his slippery gazer on the Arcus, killing the army, and Léonce and Apoy are able to push back. This town center from SJO is going to be denied, while Léonce is now the first in Mythic Age. It's the double Argus spawn. DarthNox getting to Mythic Age 2, instantly dropping his implode. Léonce still sitting on his implode, very nice implode, gets all of it, and the army is mostly gone. The mythic creatures surviving. So has heroized a few units in the meantime, now shooting at the myth creatures. At the same time, SJO is flooding in to the base of Apoy here, but the water dragon really keeps him at bay. Very hard to deal with as Norse. The AoE is very, very strong, and he really needs Goldie for that. Let's check if he has now a few Great Owls. No, he doesn't. Got his farm eco going though. Down comes the implode. Maybe not the best implode. SJO already having the architects upgrade, so those forts are rather tanky, or rather those buildings are rather tanky. All of them survive. DarthNox is spreading himself out, a little civilian, I don't know, villager fest going on here, running in circles. Very nice. And Léonce and DarthNox duking it off as Atlantean. Do we see the wolf? There it goes. Also explodes a little bit far from the army, the Dao swordsman running through. But oh boy, look at those guys. Pretty hefty stats. So high on the armor. The Berserks can't compete with that, at least on the Pierce side. And this is going to hurt with the Fire Archers and the Shuganu now also in the fight. SJO still rocking his comp of mostly Huskals and Berserks, but now adds some throwing X-Men too to get rid of those Dao swordsmen faster, which makes a lot of sense. Léonce making quite a bit of siege. The fire siphons roll out, and those two are hitting each other with Arcus and Destroyers. A game of numbers, so to speak. DarthNox making the choice of running away here as he sees more satyrs approaching is a good idea. Gathering yourself first, but when you're gathering and you're gathering in like a clump, those satyrs are gonna do a lot work, even against the Destroyers, who are really, really tanky in terms of pierce resistance. So we got a little bit of a villager's stare down here. The match has mostly settled with a lot of action in the middle, but essentially the map was kinda split in half, although DarthNox is remaining more control over the lower bottom of the map. So like not as evenly spread. All TCs are taken by now. What differences do we have? Our DoD guys are leading in score here, at least by a little bit, but in the meantime, Apoy has been setting up trade, so his economy is looking rather nicely. Here we see the trade of Léonce, a little bit shorter. How much do they carry? Oh wait, this one 80 gold per trip, so this is okay. 82 gold for Apoy here. Our DoD guys not having trade. DarthNox at least setting it up. A very nice trade line, like a lot longer possible with this TC, so we have to see. Back onto the action. DarthNox pushing the middle, but without any front line to sustain himself. He cannot break through the palaces. Meanwhile, SJO running in hard, having to face the Yinglong here. So this Fafnir most likely is going to explode hard. This is still doing a little bit of economic damage, right? He's getting into the villager line here, and possibly for the first time in this match, the both of them are going to see the trade. Have they? Yeah, they did. Possibly. That one died before we could look. But they now both know. SJO needs to think about something here, how he deals with this dragon, because this dragon alone is giving him so much trouble, cleaning up wave after wave after wave, and finally here they are, the Goaties are in town to take care of the Wang Di. Jinlong, I'm sorry, Wang Di is the god. So let's see. SJO doing a great job in delaying any kind of Atlantean advance here with the hill forts. This takes ages to break. DarthNox shifted the focus a little bit, saw like attacking this is not as useful, and he catches up with his buddy SJO to put more pressure. Them combining their sources makes a lot of sense here, in my opinion. So we do have SJO here fighting for his life, getting hit by the heavy siege crossbows. Did he manage to kill the Wang Di? He did, possibly, with those 15 Goaties that we saw. The Wang Di is, the Jinlong, I'm sorry, the Jinlong is gone, at least, and he goes in further chasing the siege crossbows. Constant fighting on the map, constant fighting under fire of the of the fortresses. SJO, oh, those black ox caravans look really nice. SJO and DarthNox having set up their own trade by now, and still having a bit of a supply lead here. But Léonce and Apoy, although maybe looking to be behind in stats, haven't really given any space. Like SJO essentially now was burst in the Gulin, achieving this as like a first major major success, pushing Apoy on away from this TC. Apoy now not Léonce now having to re-rally his trade and go somewhere else. So this is nice as a means of economically damaging your opponent. I am sorry. And economic damage is going to be the name of the game. So when you see this and you see already the walls are going down and we do have fortresses upon fortresses upon fortresses, you need to think about methods how to seize the income that your opponent might have. So it's either food or it's gold. The wood resources on the map are getting scarce, so food and gold is going to be the resources that you want to worry about. And you know they have trade somewhere, because you couldn't sustain yourself for that long, I guess. So what are our guys going to do about this, and what are Léonce and Apoy going to do about this? Let's see. Here an opportunity to run past the wall, gets stopped by the units immediately. Running past something is really the best idea in my opinion, though. You want to kind of draw attention away from somewhere, especially from the front line. You do not want to fight under the frontline fire of like 3-4 palaces. And okay, what draws a lot of attention? Let's see it. This draws a lot of attention. So SJO pushing through with the Titan Gate, and out of the very odd ice pool in the desert comes the big troll guy. SJO running in onto the siege engines here. So those siege engines, although they do have like an absurd amount of pierce damage, not as nice against infantry like the Caro Ballista as you might think, because they just don't have any spread. Now let's see what this Titan is going to give. We are still needing to attack somewhere on the trade or onto the farms. SJO having to run here, eating too much damage from like heroic Momillos isn't really that good. Helping out a little bit here with the Huskarls. Okay, breaching the wall. Remember, Titans can go through the wall, and he is walking directly into the trade, and this I do like a lot. You need to get past the front fortifications, past the walls, and to be fair, all of this is open, right? You can just run through, and now, as you see, all of a sudden, the army needs to draw back. But what is he doing here? In my opinion, chasing those towers, or like even killing the silos, is a bad idea. You need to hit the trade, you need to make the income stop. Right now you're doing building damage which can be rebuilt rather quickly, I would say, but this is giving income. Another big boy built by Apoy has spawned, with the next one being DarthNox and the fourth and last being Léonce. SJO doesn't want to fight this because this Titan is healing a little bit, and it's also a lot higher on health. Hence, never mind. He turns around and says, "Oh, let's go it. Do it. Punch me in the face. Come on." What do we see here? DarthNox and SJO trading buildings, deconstruct and time shifts getting down. SJO now going away, maybe trying to make the best out of this Titan, getting hit by a lot of pioneers though. Oh, but Apoy needs to watch this. The Herrscher is coming in, starts slapping on his Titan, and this is quite the unnecessary damage. So the Magma Boys are out. Somewhere around here we see also something very interesting. Wonder Age. I haven't seen this in almost like ever, I think, in a team game. So Wonder Age does wonderful things, like the name suggests. It gives better myth units, it gives cheaper god powers, everything is a lot nicer. We do get another wolf. Do we see it? There it goes down, this time hitting a lot of stuff. Finally, and DarthNox being able to push in here a little bit. Also, very nice. After making yourself some space, essentially like towering up the space, sieging this place up, you could get walls here. And SJO running through, having killed the Titan of Apoy with the villagers, but he just with the Herrscher, but he keeps banging his head against those buildings while the income essentially flows and flows and flows unhinged. It continues to go. Meanwhile, Léonce is very, very close here to going into the trade of SJO. So a very, very dangerous push here. SJO now, I'm sorry, mistook him. SJO got cleaned up. End of story. Now we see Baulays and a lot of towers, and from just looking at this, I wouldn't really want to push in here like at the slightest. You could shoot this with ballistae, I think, to get it down eventually, but it takes a billion years, and yeah, not that much of a positive experience. Like when you see so heavy fortificated mid, you just need to go around. And when we look at around, this place doesn't even have a wall anymore because the wood is gone. this was still open, I think. Yeah, most likely is still open, but we got an opening here and only one Baulé protecting the way through here, so this is also possible. The wonder has finished. The giant sun clock has spawned. Imagine being the poor ass that needs to climb all the way up here to tell the time when your king demands it. Hopefully it's not going to be me tomorrow. So the DoD boys still ramming their heads against the front door, not going around here. Both parties still have uncontested trade, but DarthNox now obviously in the Mythic 8s, and it shows in points too. He's leading by a little bit, but SJO has fallen behind in the meantime. And oh, this is dangerous. How is he going to respond to those? White Horse and eventually the Tiger Calf. Do we have Tiger Calf already? Yes, they look quite similar with this, they look quite the same with this color scheme. But those boys, incredibly beefy, lots of damage, a lot of multipliers, hard unit to deal with. Once they die, they dismount into a weaker version, so you take quite a while to clean them up. DarthNox Titan though, not dead. Slowly taking down fortifications here, having killed the town center, but at the same time got pushed away from his position that he got earlier. We remember him building the towers here, so walls would have helped. Léonce doing a great job of closing this area actually after the wood is gone, so great awareness by him. And SJO still holding on by flooding a lot of bodies into this funnel, trying to defend his town center, having all the upgrades, so this one is pretty tanky. Still can't really deal with this army, so the Dao swordsman just refused to die. Siege is out on the field. 250 HP now, and we see Haskell was below 200 and the Berserk was a mere 140, so this is a lot of HP, and this is a crucial moment right here. Apoy being able to take this town center right under the nose of the trade, the first time this trade is getting attacked, but it doesn't go without a price. SJO at the top has managed to build himself through the little gap here, having killed the one market that was available, ramming down a few towers, doesn't really matter, but the income has been greatly reduced now. Another market, this is the equivalent of maybe 40 gold. We have a look, 22. So quartered the income in comparison to what was happening before. Meanwhile, DarthNox Titan still is doing gods or Kronos work, we don't know, and hitting buildings, killing stuff. SJO's trade now in dire despair though. His dudes are getting shot by the towers that were built by Apoy and the TC that has been going up. Got cleaned up at the top as well, with now a hefty bit of Tiger Cavalry running around the map. Still no real answer. I'm not sure if Berserks are gonna cut it here, and might be just too much damage for those Berserks to handle, and he should really be thinking about Herdman. Although Freya obviously gives a lot to the Berserks and gives, here we see a dismounted variant hiding behind Pascal here, of the white, of the Tiger Calf. Godis to deal with the Qinglong. It's a good idea. I think though, like running in like this, just funneling units is gonna get you killed a lot more in numbers than you might have been needed to. He gets the Qinglong though, which is like the biggest thing, and slowly but surely the Tiger Calf is going to fall. Meanwhile, bomb down goes the towers. DarthNox Titan, very HP effective, let's put it like this. we don't see as many units here from Léonce. So maybe with units I mean heroes, obviously. Oh, an implode going down. Great stuff, sucking in the remainder of the army from Apoy, doing a lot of damage to those buildings. Still, those towers are up, those are upgraded too, and the wolf goes in to finish the buildings off. At least now the Baolei dies. That took him quite a while, but he's now again able, and immediately does so, to replenish this TC position, which was incredibly important. Meanwhile, DarthNox building up a town center of his own, and this is now marking essentially a big gain in space here for DoD. Meanwhile, having reduced the opponent's market line, we do get those here which are usually carrying something else. But Apoy not having redirected his trade here, and also Léonce not having redirected his trade, and I think this is really the culprit of this game when we look at this. Those guys trading for a lot less resources than DarthNox and SJO are being able to trade here for, and this is going to show over the course of the game. So when you're able to trade more and more and more and more, although the farms not really untouched, right? Apoy does have his nice farmland over here, so does Léonce. The gold income isn't just going to match. DarthNox Titan still alive. The Wonder Age obviously doing a lot here. DarthNox being able to consistently dish out myth units, dish out god powers, possibly hero rising left and right. SJO is struggling here. There he comes, the first herdman, the hero, to take down the tiger calf. SJO holding on here against the onslaught from Apoy. Essentially Apoy and SJO coming to a little bit of a stalemate here in the middle of the map, finally reaching a game decision though. Really nice game. We can have a look. 50 minutes, quite intense. Let's see. And this was the critical point I was talking about earlier. We see here as SJO, or me for that instance, dropping down heavily on his civilian units. This was right when the trade essentially got contested, and I bet if we remember, all of this above here was filled with villagers cutting wood. All the wood on SJO's side of the map is gone, and the villagers are nowhere to be seen. He did make a few farms here and there, but I think he also did convert a lot of those villagers. And as at the end we see him being at a 22 villager population, so he essentially went down all the way. Quite the same as Apoy here, who lost a lot of villagers rebuilding this TC, which he took, the towers, the Baoleis, funneling in the villagers into that space. Our Atlantean guys, in comparison, quite stacked, although we have to say that Léonce has been fallen a little bit behind in the end. Might have been due to DarthNox constantly attacking this TC. Units maybe running into this wood line, killing the villagers here. This wood was harvested till very later in the game too, possibly losing villagers here. But DarthNox having himself set up, and essentially in his base at least, being the only uncontested player in this game, although not having walled this trade off. But we know it is right when the match is going down in such a spammy nature, right? You're there, you're panicking, everything is flowing through the roof essentially. all resources collected. Let's see. So we do have Léonce here at the top, but slightly hidden our friend SJO. DarthNox, surprisingly, although he was uncontested, being rather low for whatever reason, less hero citizens most likely, but we see here with DarthNox, he is spamming those god powers, making good use of his of his Wonder Age there. Let us check the resources. So we see here Léonce having mined all the wood, but so did SJO. The farms, I think I've not seen that much of a farm difference for Léonce or DarthNox, so this might very well be the hero villager difference, and Apoy and Léonce being a lot higher on the gold here, but remember how early they were trading or started their trade, so this is clear where this gold is coming from. I think at the end there were even some, we got a few, not a few, but we got one unmined gold mine on the map. I think there was another gold left very shortly towards this end, but still, big map, big match, many dudes, many death, great stuff. I must say AOM team games are kinda wild, so let's have a final look at maybe military, very chaotic, but we also see the value and the pop dropping a lot, so the constant fighting, it really shows into the graph. Little suggestion from DarthNox here, the plenty walled icon. Let's check the resources at the end of the game. So we got Léonce here doing kinda well, I would say. We got SJO, who's obviously bleeding resources by just how little villagers he has left. All his villagers on farms, the ox caravans on trade. We got Apoy, who is looking decent, but having also lost a lot of villagers, cannot keep really up with the food income, although his gold and the traders is helping him out here. But 80 traders on gold with so little income, this is blocking your supply to a big degree, right? At one point you cannot make army anymore. Let's look at DarthNox. Oh, and yes, a very slight gold difference on DarthNox's side. He's been very, very careful with spending his pocket and lunch money, and he's buffing up on the gold. Holy shit. While still also floating a lot of food. So this guy can pump out army after army after army, being currently pop capped. So this will go even higher, and if he just chooses to, he will replace this in a heartbeat. Very interesting game, very tensed, very chaotic. Such kind of games are insane to play. We can look at the kill counts here. SJO managing to kill the most villagers. Léonce and SJO in units killed very comparable. Apoy with Shannon though taking a hefty first place on the units killed, possibly due to the Dragon's AoE and the Tiger Calf being uncontested by Calf counter units. So this is huge, but this is also huge. 105 buildings killed, 140 berserks entered Valhalla on this day. Very well, see you soon. Hope you enjoyed this. This is DoD Gonte signing out. Hach ja, until the next time.